season?
No, not right now.
Okay.
But as we get into the sort of busier months of the season, if we transition to that La Nina like we are expected, the wind shear is going to be much reduced in the Caribbean. So stay tuned.
All bets are off at that point.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And thank you for watching Weather Underground tonight. Our live coverage of Tropical Storm Colin continues with meteorologists Keith Carson and Sarah Dillingham all coming up next. Have a good night. Have a safe night.
You can hear just how strong the wind is in Sarasota, Florida from Tropical Storm Colin. The storm's been especially hard on Florida today with strong wind gusts, heavy rain, and coastal flooding. The wind knocked out power to tens of thousands of homes and blew the waves and sand over the beaches. And the effects far from over. Tonight and tomorrow, more Americans get in on the action from this tropical storm. All right, here's the very latest information on Tropical Storm Colin. Not a great looking system as far as the satellite presentation there. Winds at 50 miles an hour, pressure setting just over 1,000 millibars, moving at 23 miles an hour to the north and east. It will accelerate rapidly here, though, over the next 24 hours as it moves off the coast of the Carolinas and eventually out to sea. We're staying live throughout the night here on the Weather Channel to keep you updated on the storm's progress and the impacts. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Keith Carson. I'll be your host until 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Here in the lab with me tonight, storm specialist Sarah Dillingham and hurricane specialist Michael Lowry. And guys, we got a lot to talk about. We'll get to both of you in a moment. We're going to get to the ground, though, first. And we start with meteorologist Chris Warren, who is in Daytona Beach, Florida, with the latest on the conditions. And Chris, you know, at this point, it's just a nasty night at the beach there in Daytona.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the water's warm, but not very inviting. It's pretty rough. It's brown. It's dark, so we've pulled away from the beach. Still, it's raining. It's been coming down pretty consistently, about, I'd call it a moderate to a heavy rain. We had a really, really heavy rain a few hours ago and got absolutely soaked. It was the driving rain, and it came with the wind. It was a rain squall that rolled through. Now, I think, Keith, you nailed it. It's just really here in Daytona Beach, and in a lot of Florida, it's people's vacations, it's their beach day, just kind of crummy. And with this, the storm, Tropical Storm Colin, has increased the chances people are going to have crummy weather for their vacations. But you also have to know it's beyond that a little bit. There's an increased chance for some strong storms, and with those, the possibility for some damaging winds is still there. That's still a possibility. Isolated tornadoes, still something to be concerned about. And then it's that heavy rain. Right now, I mean, we're seeing some of the puddles build up, but that'll go away if this stops. It's when you get the heavier rain than this that lasts for several minutes where things get really tricky, where that's when you can end up with some of the low-lying areas getting flooding, especially during the dark hours, which we are now in right now. So that chance for more showers and storms, and it feels like the wind is picking up a little bit. And coming up, we're going to take a look and try to get it so we can show you some of the trees as they're blowing around. A little bit more than I've seen since we've been out here. But, Keith, at the end of the day, it's just time for people to go inside and hang out, still on vacation. The people we've talked to have been in good spirits. So it's not getting anybody down too much, at least that we've talked to here in Daytona.
All right.
Oh, and actually, let's go to Michael Lowry. If Michael Lowry's standing by. Hey, Michael, what are you seeing with this? Are you seeing any particular areas across Florida that you're keeping an eye on or maybe concerned about over the next hour or two?
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, you got a nice little squall that's headed your way right now. So the weather is really going to pick up here momentarily for you.
Yeah, it's starting to feel it a little bit. I can actually feel a little bit of pressure on my back with the rain, which we haven't really felt that in a while.
Yeah, Chris, you know you're in Florida when you have your flip-flops on, right?
Right. Yeah, it's warm. I mean, it's raining, it's cloudy, and that's something too. People we've met from Ohio, and it's kind of in your mind, you know, from being from the north, and you come down and you see out your window that it's cloudy and it's wet, but it's still warm. I mean, it's the tropical moisture, and it was hot earlier today. It's a little bit cooler, but yeah, it's still flip-flop weather for us.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. We'll let you drive for a minute and also check the radar. And I'll show you that radar I was talking about. The sort of lines of storms that have been progressing through parts of northeast Florida. There's another one right here. Chris is over there in Daytona Beach. The center of this is right in here. It's close to making a landfall there in either Taylor or Dixie County. We also have some strong storms here down near Tampa. Now, you're not seeing the stronger convection down south of Tampa, but the winds down there have been awfully impressive. 44-mile-per-hour sustained winds down there in Venice, Florida, just to the south of Sarasota. Here is the latest information, the latest numbers that we have from the Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Colin. Winds of 50 miles per hour. We're going to get an update from them within the next hour or two. If it does make landfall, maybe even sooner than that. Northeast to 23, so do the math. 35 miles southeast of Apalachicola, moving northeast to 23. So this is going to be on the coast sooner rather than later. Tropical storm warnings up. I-4 corridor northward to I-10, and then take I-95 to the north and Highway 17. And there's where you'll find tropical storm warnings up also for the Carolinas for tropical storm conditions tomorrow. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and what the forecast means for the southeast coming up after the break. Stay tuned as we continue our coverage on Tropical Storm Colin.
I use what's already inside me to reach my goals. So I liked when my doctor told me that I may reach my blood sugar and A1C goals by activating what's within me with once-weekly Trulicity. Trulicity is not insulin. It helps activate my body to do what it's supposed to do, release its own insulin. Trulicity responds when my blood sugar rises. I take it once a week, and it works 24/7. It comes in an easy-to-use pen, and I may even lose a little weight.
Trulicity is a once-weekly injectable prescription medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes. It should be used along with diet and exercise. Trulicity is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes and should not be used by people with severe stomach or intestinal problems or people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Trulicity is not insulin and has not been studied with long-acting insulin. Do not take Trulicity if you or anyone in your family has had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Trulicity or its ingredients. Stop using Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of an allergic reaction, such as itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which may include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Medicines like Trulicity may cause stomach problems, which could be severe. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and any medicines you take. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, and indigestion. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure.
With Trulicity, I click to activate what's within me.
If you want help improving your A1C and blood sugar numbers with a non-insulin option, click to activate your within. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
How long can you wear your shoes before corns, calluses, and bunions make them unbearable? Introducing Dr. Scholl's cushions with advanced Duragel technology. They provide a thin, flexible layer between your shoes and foot pain, so you can move with confidence. New Dr. Scholl's cushions.
Summertime adventure? Bring it on. PetSmart is the perfect toys, gear, apparel, and food that will keep your fearless best friends enjoying the fun outdoors or comfortably indoors.
Hello world, hear the song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
New Aquafina Sparkling. Lightness and refreshment in perfect sync. Aquafina Sparkling for happy bodies.
Over 40, feeling tired, losing muscle, and even romantic drive? Man up with Ageless Male. Natural ingredients clinically shown to support energy, promote muscle, and boost free testosterone.
The great thing about Ageless Male is that it works.
Man up with Ageless Male.
We have a charge. We have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
Their trip of a lifetime became a fight to make it home alive.
The weather was hell on earth. I knew that we were in trouble.
Go, go, go!
Extreme Weather, The Survivors. Sunday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
All right, what happened in several places today. This video from Steinhatchee in Taylor County, Florida. In the Big Bend area, water several feet above normal there led to some beach erosion as well. Problem that we're seeing along the Gulf Coast, particularly, of course, northern Florida with this system. Let's get you updated on the latest now coming out of Florida. The I-275 Skyway Bridge near St. Petersburg remains closed to all traffic. It's due to gusty tropical force storm winds. And Florida Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency for 34 counties across the state. No mandatory evacuations in place, but in Franklin County there are voluntary evacuations for people living in some of the low-lying areas there. All right, we're here in the lab with Sarah Dillingham. And Sarah, get us caught up on Colin here.
Yeah, so the latest advisory came out at 8 p.m. there, so take a look at these. These winds are sustained at about 50 miles per hour right now, so that's not really been changed much over the rest of the afternoon. And look at that forward motion, 23 miles per hour. I mean, this thing has been booking it most of the afternoon, and that's because we have a jet stream aloft that's actually helping to carry parts of Colin off to the north and east pretty quickly. So we're going to see this kind of move up through the northern Florida coastline there and out in the Atlantic, actually passing off the Carolinas by tomorrow afternoon. You see the pressure there at 1,001 millibars, so not a very intense low pressure there. 35 miles south-southeast of Apalachicola was the last location of the center. So, Keith, we could be looking at the center making landfall probably within the 8 to 9 o'clock hour, I would imagine, because you do the math. It was 35 miles southeast, moving northeast at 23. It's going to get there pretty quickly.
And certainly a lot of the squall lines ahead of it are stronger than the landfall. In this case will be more of a technical thing for us here.
Yes,
the nerds.
Most of the impacts have already happened, as we've said.
Right. All right. Thank you, Sarah. Let's take a look at what's going on with this system as it moves off to the north and east, and it'll be moving very, very quickly here. Flash flood watches are in effect all the way up the Carolina coastline and, of course, much of Florida as well. You know, one positive to this whole system is how quickly it will be moving as we head into tomorrow, which will help mitigate some of the flood risk here because it's not going to sit over one spot over and over again, right? You're going to be sitting here with the showers and thunderstorms moving rather progressively. So here we are through tonight. The squall line certainly across eastern parts of Florida and getting in through Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina has seen some heavy rain through tonight. That continues through the early morning hours. Here we're at 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Look how quick this thing is moving. You're looking at the Outer Banks largely being impacted here. By the time a lot of people wake up or at least are going to work by tomorrow, it's going to be out here. At least the squall lines are. The center of circulation is hanging back here, just to the east of Charleston. But as we just talked about, where the center of circulation is located with this particular storm, not as impactful, not as important maybe as it may be with some other storms. So we always tell you don't look at just the middle center point. That is especially true here for Colin, as it's a very large, unorganized system. So by tomorrow afternoon, this is largely off the coastline, including the center of circulation, and by tomorrow evening, it will be well off the coastline as it taps into the jet stream and a jet streak within that. That's really going to get this thing moving. So you take a look at Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah, they've got some showers, some rain bursts there through the morning hours. But by the early afternoon, I would not be surprised at all, not only if it's not raining, but we may actually see some sunshine there by the afternoon. So that's how quick the thing is moving. Look at the rainfall still to come here, 3-4 inches of rain. So yeah, it's going to be a good amount, but certainly this would be a much bigger deal if the system were moving slower. Flash flood guidance for the most part telling us we can handle most of this rain. So we'll just watch where the heaviest bands develop and tend to sit over. Charleston, South Carolina getting rain right now. They will continue to get rain. Of course, a spot that is kind of flood prone. It's very low lying. A lot of times they get water from the ocean and rainwater as well. So it will be raining through the morning hours there. As far as total rainfall, we're thinking 3 to 4 inches here along the 26 corridor. 95 will be kind of the dividing line between the really heavy rain and the lighter stuff off to the west. So on the whole, the heaviest rainfall, as we kind of zoom out here, will be across South Carolina and southern North Carolina. The Outer Banks, again, one of the spots. Luckily, when Bonnie came through, it didn't bring all that much rainfall. So again, your flash flood guidance numbers are relatively reasonable here. All right, we've seen wave after wave of gusty winds today. Check out this video from Clearwater, Florida. Rain blowing sideways there. Then one of those strong bands that came on shore, and it is loud. Take a listen.
Tastes like seawater. Tastes like seawater.
Seresto makes it easy to help protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. With the performance you expect from a monthly topical in a non-greasy collar, Seresto kills and repels fleas and ticks for 8 continuous months. Seresto from Bayer.
It can be hotter than Death Valley in your attic. But that's still not hot enough to sweat out bugs. Take these boxes. They're not only perfect for storing old yearbooks and pictures,
You find something?
they're also a perfect food source and nesting material for roaches. That's why I identify their favorite snacks, like old books, clothing, wood. Then I seal entryways and use the latest scientific methods. Orkin, pest control down to a science.
Hello world, hear the song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
New Aquafina Sparkling. Lightness and refreshment in perfect sync. Aquafina Sparkling for happy bodies.
You can check on them. You can worry about them. You can even choose a car for them.
Honey, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Love.
We're okay.
It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
There's a bazillion ways to top your kids' Rice Krispies. What's yours?
Dashed fruit in their favorite color. A bunch of pineapples cause hey, it's summer. Bananas and berries cause the letter B rocks. A little bit of yogurt, sure, why not?
The fun never stops. How many ways can you snap, crackle, pop?
Every day of hurricane season, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature.
You're talking about whole coastlines that could be drastically altered because of these massive storms.
You have purpose. You have to get these people out of harm's way.
There's no other place that has this amount of expertise than we do right here on the Weather Channel.
Sold for $1.66 at about 98% off on DealDash.com. Deal Dash is the most exciting way to score brand name, brand new products at prices you won't believe. Professional stand mixers for under $6 and pressure cookers up to 85% off. Touchscreen laptops for less than $16 and HD TVs for 80% off or more. So stop paying retail. Go to DealDash.com right now.
Don't bring that mess around here, Evan! Whoa! Don't do it. Don't you dare. I don't think so! It's okay, big fella. We're gonna get through this together. Nice rip, Robbie.
When you bundle home and auto insurance through Progressive, you get more than just a big discount.
I'm gonna need you to leave.
You get relentless protection.
What makes me a weather geek, the fact that I love the weather, especially when it's hit me in the side of the face.
I'm gonna ride this one out, guys.
Be one of the thousands of weather geeks out there at WeLoveWeather.tv.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Energizer Max. Now lasts up to 30% longer in digital cameras.
Never underestimate the power of Energizer. Our longest lasting Energizer Max ever.
Storm Colin spinning quickly towards the Gulf Coast of Florida. The governor already declaring a state of emergency for more than half the state.
Every family has to get prepared.
We're getting very, very heavy rain in 3 parts of Florida that we're going to concentrate on.
Well, not just the rain and the wind we've seen in Florida today. Take a look at this. This is a waterspout off Miami Beach. Not all that uncommon during a tropical system. Fortunately, it stayed offshore during the entire time period. Here's another angle of the waterspout. You want to look at things from different angles on Miami Beach, including the waterspouts. Not close enough to leave your spot on the beach, apparently. People's just hanging out. But yeah, this does happen sometimes. You see some spin-up tornadoes and also some waterspouts out there. No doubt, look, it's been a busy start to the hurricane season. We've had 3 named storms thus far. And earlier tonight on Weather Underground, hurricane experts Brian Norcross and Michael Lowry examined some of the factors that may be causing it and if it means more hurricanes are ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering, look, we're already to the 3rd named storm and it's June the 6th. The average date of the 3rd named storm is August the 13th, so we're well ahead of schedule. But in terms of what that means, does it portend that we're going to have a busier hurricane season? Well, the data that I have shows not really. It's kind of a mixed bag in terms of what the season sort of comes out to be. If you look at the graph here, these are basically all seasons that had a tropical cyclone before the traditional start of the hurricane season, which is June the 1st. And some of those seasons, you can see the ones that are light red were above average, but some of them below average. So, you know, sort of here or there, you know, on the whole, though, it's sort of averages out, right? I mean, you have some seasons that are above normal, some that are below normal. But interesting nonetheless that, you know, we had some of these early season storms.
So this year we've had 3 already, a record. We've never had 3 this early. Yeah. But don't you think that's kind of a made-up record? Because Alex, being way back in January, right?
Right.
Right, in January, really says nothing at all about I mean, it's technical that we start counting January 1st.
Well,
right?
and think about where do we start when we start naming tropical systems? We start at this imaginary 39-mile-per-hour wind threshold.
Right.
I mean, so if you were to move that 39-mile-per-hour wind threshold somewhere else, the numbers might be a little bit different. So it's not really, in that sense, significant. It is from a historical standpoint, and just sort of interesting when you look back in history. But I mean, you can see that in the numbers here. If it was significant for some reason in terms of the forecast and the actual weather, then you would see some sort of trend to the data here in terms of when those seasons get a head start. But we're not seeing that.
Yeah, and in your chart, you have some that it just the hurricane season stalls, as we've seen in hurricane seasons. Yeah. Sometimes they go like crazy, and then the atmosphere changes, and it's over early. We just don't know.
Well, I talk about hurricanes like you get tropical systems like you do bananas. They come in bunches, right? And we had Tropical Storm Bonnie, we had Colin. So you get a clustering of storms, and sometimes they cluster right before the start of the season. That's
All right, thank you guys. I just had a banana, actually. Let's talk about what's going on here in Tampa through tomorrow. We're going to have some wind gusts over 30 miles an hour, but they've been gusty mainly in some of these thunderstorms. That's what we've seen. That's what we expect for the rest of this system. Not sustained strong winds for long periods of times. Jacksonville, obviously going to be dealing with this through the overnight hours into the early morning hours. I believe we have a crew there. It'll be rainy and windy. We will be clearing up by the afternoon. Again, the acceleration on this thing is going to be tremendous by the time it gets into the jet stream tomorrow and really tomorrow mid-morning or so. As far as rainfall, yet to come, about 2 inches of rain. Our flash flood guidance number is pretty good here, so I'm not anticipating that we'll see too many flooding problems across Jacksonville with that. Savannah, Georgia, seeing rain already. The rain will continue here for quite a while. All right, we're coming back with expert analysis you won't find anywhere else. We're tracking all the impacts of this storm. And take a look at this. Guy using his kayak in Gulfport, Florida today.
I forgot to record that show.
Now we have to wait forever to see it.
With DirecTV, you don't.
You see, we got the power to turn back time. That show you missed, let's just go back and find. And let's go back and choose spicy instead of mild. And maybe reconsider having that second child. See, that's the power to turn back time.
Get the ultimate all-included bundle. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
To you, they're more than just a pet. So protect them with Canine Advantix 2. It kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes. Canine Advantix 2 for the love of dog.
You
want a real fish sandwich? You know where to find it.
Try our new Coastal Cod Sandwich at Long John Silver's. Our panko breaded Alaskan cod is served up just the way you'd expect a real fish sandwich to be.
Because at Long John Silver's, you deserve more.
Call you back. Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there.
What a day.
With car insurance for when things go wrong,
What a day!
but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Hello world, hear the song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
New Aquafina Sparkling. Lightness and refreshment in perfect sync. Aquafina Sparkling for happy bodies.
What's the most awarded car company of the year? Ranking from top to bottom.
Luxury cars seem like they would be top awarded.
Better be some awards behind what you're paying for, right?
The final answer? Chevy, the most awarded car company 2 years in a row.
Wow, it's like a luxury car.
I was shocked. I mean, it's like, this is Chevy?
Get cash back for 20% of the MSRP on all 2016 Spark, Sonic, and Impala vehicles. That's over $8,000 on this Chevy Impala.
This is what we use to clean our engines, to reach our customers, and protect our nation. Clean, quality fuels from Valero. When it comes to powering the American dream, this is what we use. Valero.
You ever feel like you're spinning? Like you're stuck in the same place in life? Just going round and round and round? Yeah, man. Been there.
No, actually spinning.
Oh, we can fix that by going to Midas. They have a great selection of tires. Sorry, Doug. I thought you were trying to get deep.
Get up to $70 back on 4 select Michelin, Goodyear, or Cooper tires, and up to an additional $70 back with a Midas credit card. Make an appointment today at Midas.com.
Every day of hurricane season, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature.
You're talking about whole coastlines that could be drastically altered because of these massive storms.
You have purpose. You have to get these people out of harm's way.
There's no other place that has this amount of expertise than we do right here on the Weather Channel.
Well, Tropical Storm Colin continues to slam the southeast. The big impacts thus far, heavy rain, winds, and some waves. Several inches of rain getting close to breaking some daily rainfall records in cities like Tallahassee and leading to some flooding in parts of Florida. Meanwhile, the waves came crashing ashore late in the day, especially during high tide in the Tampa Bay area. Some of it led to coastal flooding there, a threat that we'll be dealing with here into the overnight hours. And speaking of the wind, take a look at this video here out of Sarasota Beach, Florida. As storm clouds rolled in, the wind really picks up there, kicking up some sand and getting some people to move away from that area. The maximum sustained winds from Colin forecast around 50 miles an hour. So far, the gusts have been generally in the 40-mile-per-hour range across southwestern parts of Florida there. Here's the very latest information on Tropical Storm Colin this hour. Winds still holding steady at 50 miles.